Welcome back to Cape Critiquers, everybody. Today we are putting Daredevil Born Again Season 2 out of its misery with the finale, The Southern Cross.
I don't know what the title meant.
The ship.
Oh, the Northern Star.
The Northern Star.
Cross.
Oh, yeah, so what happened with the Southern Cross?
I don't know why it's called the Southern Cross, but I'll be honest with you, I was entertained by this last episode. I'll give it that. But it just summed up to me that all these 8 episodes could have been compressed to an hour-and-a-half movie.
I don't even... If this was a movie, I'd fucking
I mean, yeah, it's still like the plot is bad.
But the weak story of the ammunition and the guns and all that stuff
funny
is
that,
really...
like, it fucking just came back. So
and it came back to that. But that was just such a weak storyline. That's what killed this. There was no real central thing to hold on to because it was like the House of Cards, that whole stupid thing with the guns.
I said it on the way here. I said the first 7 episodes could have been the first 2 episodes, and this could have been the 3rd episode of an 8 season. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because they could have. They have a lot of places to go after.
I'm jumping into it too soon, but the mask was put on way too late in the series.
Yeah. Oh. Way too late.
It should have been put on in episode
I literally
2.
said it. Like, it's going to be one of the last scenes.
It was
it's
just
gonna be
so
her thing
stupid.
on. It's so fucking predictable.
I'd
say, like I told you.
A lot of things that we predicted.
Yeah, I told you that, like, it's literally just all the bad things that we predicted would happen.
Yep.
Yeah. and I do like her transition into being, like, now this tough ass and the whole bit, and, like, she gets it. But
I liked her punching Hoffberg.
Exactly. It should have happened sooner, I think. By episode 4, she should have been punching him.
And I agree. Her transition from the goody-goody psychologist to this was amazing, but it should have happened sooner.
Yeah. And now she gets the whole mask thing and the whole bit. It should have been a faster transition. I like it, and I think it's going to be a good character.
Speaking of Hochberg, though, I don't think that, like, Fisk would just, like, get somebody who would be so complacent and just, like, assume that everybody would help him. Because he didn't help at the end of the day.
No, he didn't help at all.
He just, like, assumed that everybody would help him.
It's all about money. You can tell by the way he said, but it's a so-and-so suit. Just give me the fucking suit. You know?
There's a laundry list of things in this episode that I saw, and, like, in my head, I was just like, fuck off. Like... Just kind of nothing in this episode that happens makes sense, and it's like it just gets more and more fucking insane.
Yeah, well, it's the whole fight, the end scene fights, but especially the one with Daredevil and Jessica was supposed to be, I guess, a remake of the famous one going down the hallway one, which is taken from that other movie that we watched.
Old Boy.
Well, Old Boy, taken from that.
They even did it last season, I think.
Yeah. And they did, and they just try to recreate that over and over again. It just doesn't work anymore. And don't get me wrong, I actually enjoyed it, but it was just... Kingpin was brutal. He murdered people.
So
he was snapping people in half.
We're going all over the place, but I'm so like lost on the fact that like it's the DA that's offering him this deal, right?
Yeah,
the Attorney General.
Yeah,
the
AG.
The Attorney General. You're right, but it's like
he just fucking killed and
murdered
paralyzed like 15 people.
That's what I was saying outside.
And like even Daredevil fucking can hear like a block away. Like he should have heard that.
Another fucking thing. On the way here, this is exactly the same points I was mentioning. Like we saw the scene where he could hear the people screaming in the other room in cages.
Yeah.
You're telling me you can't hear the like fucking 15 civilians getting their bones crushed?
And like he's definitely killed.
He's in the deposition room, whatever is with or in chambers with the.
Well, no, at that point, at that point he was fighting.
No, but I'm just saying
he's going back to.
I'm going back to a scene though. He's in chambers and Fisk knows that he can hear him, and he whispers to himself. In the courtroom, and he hears him, but he couldn't hear the other stuff later on. Again, it's
that was a calm moment. Like I think people are probably just gonna like say that it's because he was fighting in the middle of it, but like his fucking audio processing is just like that powerful that like he can process multiple things going on at once.
Yeah.
Here's my issue with the scene where Kingpin is speaking directly to Matt Murdock, who's in another room. I don't think it's ever been shown.
I actually looked into this. It was in season 3. Like,
really?
Yeah, because he looked into it. Like he looked into the accident and everything, and like he figured out about like stick and shit. So yeah.
I was gonna say I did not know that Kingpin knew
also,
that Matt had powers like that.
Similar thing happened in season 1 of this show. during like the dance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Why did Fisk make an opening statement as a witness?
He just gave a speech.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in what fucking?
Because it's just a fake fucking court.
Yeah.
This is a nonsense kangaroo court.
Yeah.
And they like kind of say that it is at points and like try to make a point out of it, but it's like even like the legitimate like lawful process that's like happening is just nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
I wanna say the good things first.
Mm-hmm.
This out of the entire season was probably my favorite episode.
Yeah.
Only because from the beginning to the end of the episode, it was a story.
Mm-hmm.
It was a complete story. We started
Mhm.
someplace and it kept
Yeah.
going and then we ended, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So for that, I'm thankful. Giving me my favorite episode as the season finale in a shit poor season doesn't really do much for me either.
No.
This is the Fisk, like I keep saying, that we should have seen from episode 3. The
Mhm.
Madman, the guy
Yeah.
that's...
Exactly.
I think Jessica Jones, again, was underutilized.
Yes.
Yes.
If you're going to... I understand it's a cameo and everything, but definitely underutilized.
and weirdly utilized, I'll add.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree.
Yeah.
100%. And I don't want to be the nitpicker, but this fucking season deserved me being the nitpicker.
Mm-hmm.
There was so much wrong in every scene that almost there's believability and unbelievable. You said it's a kangaroo court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the justices were pretty damn serious,
Mm-hmm.
even though it was up until Matt Murdock
Yeah.
had to show up and actually make his little speech, and then like the 3 judges were like, "Yeah, you're right. We don't have the authority to do this."
Yeah.
I
There was
mean,
no
you fucking
reason
knew
for it to
that.
switch from
Yeah.
like when it was just overruled and overruled to sustained.
Yeah.
Or you mean sustain?
Yeah, that's
overruled.
Sustained,
Yeah.
sustained overruled, yeah.
So there was little crappy stuff. I didn't like the fact that he should have been beating the shit out of Kingpin, not standing there trying to convince him to take any kind of deal.
He also took a while to like jump up to him. Like he only did that once people started
Yeah.
to attack him.
After he threw how many
Yeah.
people off the balcony?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
That's
you're-
another
you're
thing.
a
Like
hero.
he saw him physically,
Kill
like
people.
even before people started attacking him. Like Kingpin fucking threw people down the stairs. Like I don't
Yeah.
know why he's just like it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Like he has even like before this fucking incident in the courtroom, he has a fucking history of killing people. Like
Yeah.
it's not about you, dude.
And-
It's not
and-
about you and his
Jessica
fucking
Jones
hero.
physically could have stopped so
Stopped
many of those people.
And like, yeah,
Oh,
just
boy.
even her throwing people back, like they gave emphasis to like how easy it seemed for her, but at the same time she like seemed to struggle to do it
Mm-hmm.
and just like couldn't get.
Kingpin looked like he was doing it a lot easier
Yeah.
than she was.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
true.
And I swear to God, I was really hoping that as they were making their way down the halls, that they would come face to face.
That's what I thought
That's
was
what's
going to
gonna
happen
happen.
when you
It's-
saw
it's
the
funny, though,
doors.
'cause it's
I
like-
thought then it would going to both walk through the doors
Yeah.
and face to face.
Yeah,
I was so
they're
disappointed when
fucking
that didn't
halfway
I
happen.
across the
wanted-
court.
Yeah.
house.
Right.
Yeah.
I wanted Kingpin to throw a punch so bad just so Jessica could just kind of like
Mhm.
grab it and
Yeah.
go,
Uh-huh.
"You ain't the big dog
And
here.
I
I
Yeah.
am." You know, but it's just another fucking wish that Marvel will never give me.
No,
Yeah, I mean, like, what? I wonder if we're gonna get like a Jessica Jones project,
probably.
I would love it.
or if they're just gonna shoehorn her into being like the main.
Well, we know
one of
she's
the
going to
main
be in season 3,
Yeah.
Yeah.
along with fucking every other.
Well, yeah, it's going to be
Defender.
like a Defenders show now, which let's call it that.
I don't like it. Just even the fact that we have like this like Daredevil army
Yeah.
Mhm.
of and it's just like the fucking White Tiger's inclusion. Like she didn't impress me at all.
No.
The fucking.
But
you
I'm
wanna know what I
happy
was
that
laughing
they
at?
actually
80-yard
did-
line of her mom or aunt.
No, I was laughing at how just like elaborate the like masks were made with cardboard.
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
They
that
were
would have
actually
taken
pretty
hours
good.
for everybody to
Yeah,
make.
they were actually pretty good. Though you
Yeah.
did see some of those masks earlier on in the show, though. It's not
Right.
like they just showed up here.
Yeah.
There were other people wearing them. You saw some on the streets and stuff.
Speaking
so
of masks,
people had them.
why would BB publicly unmask herself ever?
I think that
Well, I
finally
guess,
got the
yeah.
balls enough to say, it's all me. And
Make it fucking Daniel's like make it worth it. or
Yeah.
whatever.
I guess.
So,
yeah. And
now-
just like the picture.
So
of
how
Michael
did she know
Gandolfini.
Daniel
I was
was
going to
dead,
say,
though.
nobody mentioned Daniel was dead.
That's true.
They never even had words when Fisk knew that he was dead. It was just that look.
Well, I guess because he's not
Well,
answering
you know,
calls. Shit like that.
Something about that scene is that originally in that scene he lets Daniel live.
Mm-hmm.
They CGI altered the scene to make it look like
Yeah.
he shoots him,
Mm-hmm.
and it just recontextualizes that entire thing.
Yeah.
And then in the scene where Buck returns to Fisk, they cut it up so it's different. But originally
Mhm.
he lies to Kingpin and says that like he killed Daniel, but in reality he let him go. Weird. So they just kind of cut around that entire thing, and instead they just have this odd like just blank stare, which is like I guess signaling that like he
Another
killed him.
annoying thing to me was like she edited that within like
5 seconds.
yeah, like that would have taken like hours to edit that fucking little video.
Says the editor.
Well, I mean, yeah, but, like that would have taken hours to edit.
It's like if we're gonna be realistic, it's
Like I think even like somebody like there's a lot of people more skilled than me that probably would have struggled to fucking get that out in like 10 minutes.
Well, I want
With,
some
like, new
props here
footage.
because I told you that son of a bitch trying to kill the mayor didn't die.
So did I.
Governor.
Who?
The governor, I'm sorry, the governor. He didn't die
He
He didn't
didn't.
die.
because he was a witness to the governor as to who tried to kill.
That's
Was
what
he?
she said.
Yeah.
I
That's
thought
what
that
she
they
said.
were
That
talking
guy's
about
face?
Bullseye.
No, they were
No.
talking about
The guy
the
that was
guy
sent
that
to kill her.
Bullseye put down.
Wait, did we see that guy?
No,
I-
we didn't
no,
see
I-
him,
the
but
The guy
she,
who physically killed
tried to kill her. She says your guy didn't die.
How do we know? Wait.
She said
She
that.
said
it.
The
Said it.
governor said it.
She's using
That's
him as a
weird.
witness against Fisk.
Yes.
Like we
Yeah, he said your guy didn't die, and he's said he's got a lot to say.
And he has a lot to say.
or was that maybe she's just posturing?
I don't think so.
Because I mean, like I swear, like we watched
we
it.
saw it. He had I don't understand.
He had a
that,
fucking
yeah.
blade.
I told
in
you,
his
I
skull.
saw
Honestly,
him moving.
I honestly just think it's like a continuity thing with like reshoots.
I mean, regardless, if he is alive, Matt still sent Bullseye. Like I still,
yeah.
I don't know.
Speaking of Bullseye, I was kind of right. It wasn't Buck that they sent.
No.
Yeah.
Buck
But
was
you were
involved
yeah.
in this, I guess, technically,
Yeah.
but it wasn't Buck
Okay,
that they.
so officially my favorite scene in the whole show
Yeah,
was that scene.
Bullseye stealing the show once again.
Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't even really love.
It wasn't great.
I mean,
but
it's
still,
just like
I just love his complacency. Like he just comes in and takes over and he's like, yeah, you're the fake.
they're
Yeah,
kind of
poser.
making him like empty fun. It's just like he's fun
Yeah.
to watch, but like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't care about the character that much.
I mean, he
anymore.
can be really diabolical if he wants to be, but
It.
Well, he's about to be.
I had forgotten that scene existed because it was the first thing I think that's like big in the promo was like that
yeah.
scene of the camera turning and everything. And I don't know, it's just kind of by this point I'm just so out and like disappointed that it's like Jack said, it's just empty fun. But it's
Yeah, but I still enjoy
it's
it.
like fucking empty, just eating a pint of ice cream almost, and like there's like this much left, and I might as well finish it off. You know?
Okay, you come up with some fucking weird metaphors on this series.
That's kind of my job.
Look, I don't think whoever is in charge should say, let's give him a shitty season, but let's pump up season 3.
Well, they've been doing that since halfway through this
Yeah, but
series. They've been trying to push 3.
I'm looking ahead.
Mhm.
I'm not that enthused.
If I have to,
if you're gonna give us 6 shitty episodes before you give us a little bit of something and then finish it with
yeah.
Why
I'm
should
in
I look
agreement.
forward?
I'm in agreement.
Yeah.
This was a slow lead into an episode that I have to wait a year for.
just horrible storytelling.
I also want to talk about the plan for I don't know if Fisk set this up or like the task force set this up, but their plan was to assassinate Matt Murdock after he left the courtroom and then blame it on Bullseye.
Yeah.
But it's like what if Bullseye didn't even do any of this and like that happened? Like
Well, it was Fisk that
Bullseye's
set it
just out and about.
Yeah.
Still. Probably still at this point going to be under CIA
Yeah.
control.
And well, up until that point with Mr. Charles and stuff, he's still the deadliest person in the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't like that. Again, he just like kind of starts a job, but then just fucking leaves halfway through because it's like they don't know how else to debuff him. I guess for the rest of the fight because like
Yeah.
he easily could have figured out a way into that fucking courthouse.
There's no doubt.
You know?
Oh yeah.
No
I also
doubt.
just think it's funny
He
that
could have
like,
took out a cop and
Or
dressed
just, like,
as one of
yeah.
those.
why did he just like shoot Buck immediately?
No, he,
Well, he was aiming for.
No, Buck got in front of.
Yeah.
He
Because
was,
remember.
he was going for
For Fisk?
Fisk.
Because Buck,
Yeah.
Buck was like, oh, what's
Yeah.
Matt Murdock's about to walk out. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden you hear Bullseye say, you got the wrong guy. And then
Yeah.
that's when he's like, oh, get down. And then he dives in.
Okay.
Dives in
That
front of Fisk.
seems like convoluted as fuck to me because I thought like Matt heard it and then Matt like
I think
was, like,
Matt
Matt did
Matt,
hear
Matt
it.
also
too.
heard it.
Buck
yeah.
was like
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
He tries to stop like Buck. From
Yeah.
moving.
Well, Matt was trying to, Matt being Matt, doesn't want anybody to get hurt or killed. Even though it was for him, He was. I think he tried to save Buck.
Except if you're getting thrown off a terrorist by Kingpin.
I guess so.
You know, if
Yeah,
you
you could give
then he'll
Yeah,
wait a
that's
little
just-
bit.
Still
You know.
so fucking ridiculous. It's just like, what offer is he going to get from anybody? He's going to jail forever. He killed 30 civilians.
Just slaughter.
It's like he did the fucking bullseye like paralysis thing.
Also,
Yeah.
he opened the door and went, boo!
Yeah, boo. Yeah, that was
Fucking
weird.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then he crubbished that guy's head
He
with
also
a punch.
crushed
Yeah.
the guy up against the wall.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just,
Like,
He
broke
comboed
his
his
spine.
spine.
Yes, cracked him
That's
in
what
and
I
two.
mean with the
then,
bullseye
at one point,
thing,
he
yeah.
like grabs somebody by just their head and goes crash.
Yeah.
I think he punched a woman and turned her head around.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
definitely was a woman he punched, right?
Right?
Yeah, I saw that
Like
one.
it it's just like I don't know why Matt is just like it's not about you again. Like
Yeah.
it's
I
like
didn't
they're
understand.
overbearingly doing this
Yeah.
fucking personal like fight thing with like even just like again last episode saying that like it doesn't matter that they're fighting.
Yeah.
Or episode 6 I think.
Yeah.
He
But this-
beat the crap out of Bullseye
Mm-hmm.
just out of anger of what he did to Fog.
To Foggy, yeah.
Kingpin hired Bullseye to do that,
Mm-hmm.
and he hasn't hit Kingpin or
Vanessa.
Vanessa
hired-
actually did
Yeah.
it.
Which is like convoluted as fuck because it's just like, I don't know. It just takes away from Kingpin so much. Like all they did this season was just like, for the past 2 seasons, just like ruin Kingpin.
Yeah, Tim Malone.
I think one of the biggest issues with like the judge thing for me is like they like tried to imply that like she wasn't like a fan of this whole deal. I feel like they showed something where she was just like unhappy a little
Yeah.
bit.
Mhm.
But like I feel like the original show was just like have a whole thing where it's like each side like you see how they try to convince her to
Mhm.
like I guess be good or be bad.
Yeah. It's
and
just,
again, there's 8 million cameras in the room. It's got to be going out across the country.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
friggin' New York.
Yeah.
I mean, also Kingpin like forced the people to stay behind and record him again. So it's like all those people when he walked out to
Yeah.
kill all the
Yeah.
civilians were still in there.
How hard is it for someone else to step in? There
And
has to
even,
be-
like-
we still have a U.S. government, right?
Not a single person in the hallway was like I guess alive enough to like go back or go or like follow him and like fucking tell Matt like hey he just fucking killed like 15 people back here.
Yeah. And also like at some point we're just going to get this elephant in the room out of the way. What?
Just another fucking weird metaphor.
Elephant in the room?
Like fucking swordsman in Hawkeye.
Whatever. At some point we're going to mention the fact that
Yeah, where is the swordsman anyway?
where the fuck is that guy? Yeah. I just like used my money and they
Yeah.
didn't fucking even do that once.
I'm hiding with Frank.
Yeah. Hey Frank. How you doing? I fucking can't.
How you doing?
Jesus Christ. Can't believe we have to watch that next
Hey,
week.
Frank. Hey,
Hey,
Frank.
hey, Frank. How you doing?
What's the elephant? What? What?
Fucking Matt Murdock.
Did you see what? You see what he just did?
What?
How you doing?
Because that's what the fucking like the black bars. Fucking funny. Oh my god.
You're bad. You're so bad.
So fucking funny.
But yeah, like that trailer just is edited so fucking funnily. Speaking of edited funnily,
Wait, hold on. The fucking
Elephant.
The elephant.
The elephant.
Matt Murdock outs himself as Daredevil for fucking no reason, really.
Yeah.
but another thing, I guess on that point, like right after that, there's a fucking crowd noise that like, and it's just like you hear that noise like fucking 5 times throughout that court scene. It just like it kept playing it.
Yeah. Matt outing himself as
Was
Daredevil.
so dumb.
Like, they literally did the I am Iron Man. And we called it.
Yep.
He even did the bravado voice. I am Daredevil.
Yeah. And it's like he does that in the comics like once or twice, I think. And it,
I think the only time he reveals it himself is like a recent fucking Mark Wade run
It
in like
is,
2010s
yeah.
or something.
And you had Powell say, "Oh, the blind lawyer that could fight."
yeah.
Because he kicked
No,
his
I
ass
don't
more
give
than
a
once.
And it's just like there's no catharsis to any of it.
Yeah.
Like no also like no one fucking cares that Matt Murdock is Daredevil.
No.
Like hypothetically a week later he's just roaming the streets and
Yeah.
going to a restaurant
dinner.
in
To his
fucking
favorite
in the
Indian
East
restaurant.
Village.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, he was also arrested on a law that Fisk put into place, but Fisk is no longer in office.
Well, why was he arrested? That was enough.
Well, one of them
for the
it was like a
vigilante.
few. No,
Yes,
they
and they
listed
said
like a few.
attempted murder and
assault.
Like he
assault,
threw
attempted murder.
Bullseye
Well,
off a building.
Government
Assault of who?
official. I
Yeah,
think
and they never
said.
said really who, but yeah.
Well, I guess just like random criminals, and
Yeah.
also like he threw Bullseye off a fucking roof.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't
But he
know.
lived.
And then it was like he was like,
But that was attempted
Daredevil's
murder.
crimes.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, but you need Bullseye to say
I guess yeah.
to be
Bullseye,
the
who
witness.
is now a government agent, that
So
Yeah.
we
probably
think.
has like enough pull
Yeah.
to get Matt out.
When I first saw that scene, I'm thinking to myself. At first, it popped into my head. Does he know who he's sitting next to? And then it occurs to me, oh yeah, he recruited this motherfucker.
Well, at least we got that right. That was the
Yeah.
one thing I was like
Mhm.
hoping to happen.
And
But I'm still
that
wondering
on
like, where
itself,
that's gonna go.
Yeah.
he better show up.
Well,
I
it's
want
either-
I want to see a Dark Avengers thing now.
I do
Wow.
too. And here's what I can only hope is that we just get like a real Dark Avengers thing where Mr. Charles takes on the role of Norman Osborn, and I get he probably won't be like the.
Have you
Patriot.
seen like the theory of who he is? By the way,
No.
it's Henry Gyrick,
Oh yeah, the
X-Men,
X-Men guy.
like
I
government guy.
doubt it
Yeah.
at this
I
I mean,
don't
he
think-
has to look for it.
He's not even Mr. Charles anymore. I thought
He's
he was
Mr.
Mr.
Robertson.
Thompson.
Yeah. Well, it's just like he
or
has
something
fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
It's
they,
probably just a bunch of different
yeah,
names.
they gave him
probably.
his million
Yeah,
mile
million mile.
card.
Yep.
that they
Totally
just-
worthless storyline, right?
I mean,
How-
aside
Again,
from like
it's
the
all-
Bullseye part of it, yes.
You mean him
Go-
throughout the whole series?
yeah, I mean,
Because of the weak story around it to do with the weapons.
Again, it's just like
It
the
had-
worst part of his storyline to me is that like apparently he just actually suggested like as a fucking continuous like way to like set this up logistically is kill the
Create
entire
bodies.
crew
right.
after every single
Yeah.
mission.
And what do you do with all those bodies
And it's
over
funny
and
but
over?
like-
like end up using that against King.
You'll just keep losing that. Like
Mhm.
you won't be able to get people after a
No,
while. It's
yeah.
just like it's so because that's
yeah, how many
it's just
nefarious
stupid,
people
fucking
that are
loses.
gonna do a job like that can you get
But he's great at
without
logistics.
somebody else finding out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like it's funny too because like in a sense like that like is like just I guess a way of like Kingpin cleaning up the streets is by just murdering fucking 60 criminals at a time.
Yeah, but
well
there's got to
they're
be
like
a time.
but no because it's like fucking
yeah,
international ones.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing.
and to the underworld being hired like that by the same group of people, that becomes the gooch. Somebody's gonna know you go and you never come back.
Yeah.
You know, they're underworld people. They're gonna figure it out.
Yeah. And I don't know. Like his entire involvement in this thing
Mm-hmm.
is really just to recruit Bullseye at the end and
Yeah.
give an entrance to Jessica and Luke Cage, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, yeah. Luke comes back from his job.
Yeah. And it's
I
also
like that.
just like
yeah.
what?
You said yeah, like yeah. That's like a whole thing in itself.
It is, yeah. Because like I don't know, like this idea that like there can only be one super powered person to go handle these weird jobs off in like fucking Timbuktu to do
Yeah.
like the Lord's work, whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah, it's also just like shrinking the fucking universe. Like, there's definitely just like a lot of fuck off characters that
Yeah.
are probably like a part of it, I guess. But like, it just could do it instead of Bullseye.
Yeah.
Like all the ones in She-Hulk.
Yeah. I don't know. It sucks that the only ever X-Force we'll ever get is the one in Deadpool.
Yeah. Well, I think the next one is supposed to be that actually.
Maybe. That'd be cool.
I think like that's what they said Deadpool 4 is going to be.
Oh, okay.
The don't answer it, I will answer it is stolen from A Few Good Men.
Yeah.
Like completely.
Yeah.
And it's just like another thing in this show where it's just like so irreverent.
Yeah.
And like it thinks it's like this fucking grand thing that like should copy paste from these better written things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not happy. I do give him credit where credit is. This was the best episode. I give him credit for Luke Cage's official MCU appearance.
Appearance, yes.
I my problem is like I said, there's just like no catharsis to any of this. Like Karen fucking
Ugh.
attacking the guy with the gun. Like I don't even like. Look,
Again.
just like nothing. There's no real
Like,
point.
like
to,
what she
why
hit him with then when she knocked him down.
The
the
gun.
gun.
But like I saw somebody point out that it was probably CGI'd into her hands because like there's no way she would have been able to like grab it that quick. So that's
I mean,
Why?
that's-
She's Karen Shang-Chi now.
Yeah. There's just no point to that. And then like also I don't understand even like this whole fucking like we're finally standing up against Fisk. It's like he really fucking didn't do anything. Fisk kind of like didn't really do anything that I think fucking deserves like this huge crowd versus the other crowd. It's like it's really just like supposed to be an allegory for ICE.
There's the one Red Hook thing that like nobody ever figured out until like the very end, and then just the fucking ICE parallels the whole way through.
Well, you're right, 100%.
I mean, until he started murdering civilians.
No, that was at the end. But I'm saying up until then, they were trying to present him as a gun runner or whatever. He was claiming New York was better. But up until then, I think the most horrible thing he did was when he arrested those people.
And it's like, it was like 6 people.
And it was,
You know?
And I understand. Why would the entire city get,
it's kind of crazy.
Over...
And then like you said, I don't understand like we can give this city peace finally, and then he's like, no, I won't do it. I'll do it, but I won't shake your hand. Like, what?
Yeah.
And then he was almost crying in one scene, like I'm losing everything basically. And he was almost crying.
Yeah,
I was like, what the hell?
None of it makes any sense to me.
Again, it's the final episode of the season, and Daredevil didn't touch him a single time.
No.
Yeah.
He just talked to him.
And
gently.
they have like this huge emphasis of like nothing will end unless like you cross the line and kill the Kingpin. Basically, it's like something that kind of like every other fucking character said to him.
So
and then he just talks to him.
And we go back and forth with this, and not that I'm condoning killing anybody. Don't get me wrong, but if you take out one Kingpin, how many people do you save? That's the thing. So
fucking just broke my brain with a trolley car question.
But honestly, if he was to take out Kingpin and he took him out before this last episode, all those protesters are still alive.
Mm-hmm.
No, I know.
Listen,
he
killed like 30 people in that hallway.
My big comparison is Batman and the Joker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Daredevil and Kingpin. Yeah. They kind of balance each other, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, Kingpin telling the world that Matt Murdock is Daredevil has to be worse for Daredevil than what anything Daredevil can say about Kingpin. Because basically the whole world already knows Kingpin's...
Yeah. But it's like, my problem with this whole season is like, it's just significantly fucking more interesting to have Kingpin present as like this good mayor, but then secretly still be the Kingpin.
Right.
But instead, we get 16 episodes of Kingpin just legitimately struggling to be a real mayor, and then just like facing the fucking due processes of like court and shit. And it's like, it's not even interesting.
No.
Like, I don't care about the Kingpin.
I feel like we haven't even seen that like this season though.
But it's like, nothing even, like, what did he do this season? He just like fucking walks around and like has like this Red Hook issue, but then also is just like, we're gonna pull the fucking grant or whatever to this thing. It's like, oh no, we can't let them pull the grant.
What are you talking about?
It's like the fucking the governor was gonna pull that fucking paperwork to like use Red Hook, and then it's like they try to kill her
because she had Red Hook on that loophole, and she was gonna take it over with the.
It's just like fucking
the
nonsense.
AG.
Yeah.
Buck probably did more damage this season than Kingpin actually did.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, poorly.
Yeah. And what happened to him? I mean, he was shivering with
what the
a
fuck
suit
happened to
jacket
Buck?
on. Was he going to
Why
die?
don't they just
we
kill
never
these
saw
people. Why didn't Jessica Jones come into the courtroom and just like flick Powell's nose off his face or some shit?
It's just like also funny that like Powell's just like fucking in jail now and shit.
Yeah, like I wonder if Buck's in jail
With that
too.
smirk.
I'm,
He's
Yeah.
still
I'm
got that same
still
smirk.
surprised
I
that
forget.
motherfucker's alive.
Can Jessica be shot?
Yeah.
She's no, she can be shot.
So she can be shot.
She can be shot.
Yeah.
Does she
She
heal?
could be
Does
shot. She has
I
greater
kinda-
healing ability.
Yeah, I thought
But
I
she
remember
could,
that.
she could be cut. She could.
Yeah.
I like the detail that she was like bad at doing, I guess, like nursing.
The nursing. Yeah.
Because fucking she's married to somebody with invulnerable skin, and like she doesn't really need it as much.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. He's like get bulletproof skin and all that stuff, and he's
They screwed the pooch on him too, though, for another
Yeah.
conversation for another time.
I don't know. There's like nothing. They just have written the characters of both Daredevil and Kingpin into such corners where it's like nothing really even matters, and it's just felt very forced to even try to pin them against each other at this point.
Yeah.
I just feel like they're both off doing completely separate things anyway.
Yeah, I mean, to me, Kingpin was he was pretty violent, but he always did it like it was his rite of passage to do what he did. He could beat somebody up, but he always was able to walk away from it. You know,
he's
and they
supposed
just
to be this like Teflon Don.
exactly, and they never portrayed him really like that in this. And you saw bits and pieces, like when he walked in the courtroom, they actually made him look like this big, powerful man. But you needed to do that through this entire series with him.
But that's what I'm saying is like this entire time, like he's just getting fucking essentially bitched out by government officials. Like, that's not how we do things around here in fucking
and
DC, pal.
Yeah, and he's gonna take that.
It's
no,
like
it's Kingpin.
He should have everybody under his thumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I kind of liked it in season 1 when like he figured out how to like take control of people, but like even though they didn't really show how, but like I do like that they showed that in season 1.
Yeah.
Despite the deal thing not making sense with the fact that he murdered 30 civilians and the deal would be off the table at this point.
Yeah.
Kingpin, the character, should never be forced into a situation where he has to take a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
well,
just,
that's how season 3 ended.
it's different in that way, though. Because it's like, unless, like, I feel like Daredevil, it's just so fucking forced here and so dumb. But, like, it's different there. Because, like, they actually had, like, this big surmounting evidence against him, and like the dying testimony was the big thing. It's just they got him.
Yeah.
In this, it's just like Matt Murdock's like, I'm the Daredevil, so I was there, and Kingpin's a dick. You know.
You spent 7 episodes wanting to get Kingpin so fucking bad because for anything, 7 episodes you spent only so you can treat him with mercy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that was the perfect opportunity for Daredevil to do a Batman. I'm not going to kill you, but I'm not going to save you. Let the crowd just overrun Kingpin, and then even on an after scene, if we would have seen, you know, thinking Kingpin's dead, but him surviving and walking on a beach somewhere, I would have accepted that better than to just him walking out the door like, oh well, all right.
Also, just like fucking stop, you're killing him. I'm just like, I didn't actually say that, really, but close enough. We're just like,
another thing I was thinking is, why hasn't Kingpin had Mahoney fucking fired? Because like he controls the police commissioner, so he could have done that. He just still has a job, and I don't even like know where he's been. Just like in hiding, maybe.
Fuck you, Cherry. Aren't you supposed to be playing bingo?
Fuck you! You don't shoot him. I'm gonna shoot him.
Shoot him in the face. And then they finally do the Cole North turn. It's just like whatever.
Yeah, I did not enjoy that.
And then he's just still in jail anyway.
Yeah.
In the same jail with the guy.
Well, he fucking
knocks in the head
killed White Tiger still. So
yeah, it's true. You know what's just so funny too is like Cole North would fucking want to kill Matt Murdock now again anyway.
Yeah.
Because
Also,
Matt Murdock got Hector Alec killed.
So not a single person like brought a gun to the like protest. I feel like there would have been like one fucking just extreme guy like that.
It's just fucking ridiculous. And like at the end of there was kind of like a montage of just like a bunch of the different settings just empty that they did. And it really made me think like there's just like 5 places that even matter in this entire season. And this story is just so contained into these like 5 small locations.
There had to be guns because the police were there.
Well, I mean, they're like
Mixed
not
in
a
the
single
crowd.
protester.
Oh no, but I'm just saying the way.
Well, yeah, like
Powell,
it's just Cole North decided.
The way
not to
Powell
shoot.
just turned around and said, "Shoot him."
Yeah.
You would think the NYPD would have had 30 guns.
Yeah.
Already.
But no,
pointed
because
at
Cole
them.
North alone decided to just let them in, like nobody else.
Yeah, no one else stood up and was like, no.
Also, like this guy who just got back on the force after fucking
Yeah.
being off it. For, like,
How does Cole North then, second in command after he knocks out Powell? How's he second in command?
I don't know.
It's just the whole thing is just bizarre.
Just like none of it really makes sense.
Yeah.
And it like again, it all kind of just happens to progress the plot. I feel like every single thing that happens, you can kind of just look at and like try to backtrack threads for like 40 minutes and you'll just get nowhere.
and just like the whole thing, like I know we both love the city. Like
Oh.
I don't believe that
Yeah.
Kingpin does.
So like it just is so forced to just like fucking try to push this weird like cathartic like finally we're just both gonna let go and like the city will be at peace.
Yeah.
It's like what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, like why does Matt have to
There
fucking
was
be a
just
part
a
of
fucking shadow god turning people into dust fucking
Yeah.
6 weeks ago.
Yeah, that is funny.
Oh,
like,
that's true too.
fucking like it's such a like a
I
fucking
forgot. That's
solo fucking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's separate. Like somebody put
just-
a bubble
yeah.
around just this area of New York.
It's just so fucking boring.
Yeah.
So when does this take place? Where does this go from here? Obviously, Kingpin's going to be out of the picture.
I don't think we saw like those set leaks where he's
Yeah,
just
he'll
like has a beard and
somehow be in the picture.
is in a fucking big coat.
Yeah.
And what he's going to do, who knows? I guess we'll find out
And
from Spider-Man.
what kind of villain
I doubt it.
I don't know.
I
are we
genuinely
gonna
doubt
see
it.
that we're going to need the Defenders to fight?
Lady Muse.
Lady Muse. Yeah.
But Lady Muse isn't exactly...
Yeah, I don't
I've
know.
also heard people speculate that the Hand
I figured the Hand had to be
is
in
coming
this.
back because they're going to be in Spider-Man, and there is just going to be something to do with the Hand trying to make a peace offering with Matt by either Elektra and the Hand working together and trying to like resurrect Foggy or something.
There's so
Oh,
many
boy.
rumors.
Yeah.
I don't know what to believe.
At this point, though, you can tell me anything, and I'd fucking believe it about this show because
Yeah.
they just have no qualms about
All right.
nonsense
So what happens next week
with the Punisher.
with the Punisher? When does that take place?
I could see that just being completely unconnected.
I wouldn't be shocked if like New York is in this like weird state now, and that's because like they just like in that trailer, there's just like fucking a bunch of people in the street, like
There's
rioting.
fires, cars burning in this,
Right.
and I don't know if that's from that fire that you see in the.
But it's like
apartment
why
building,
why
or-
would that be the case? Because they arrested Daredevil, or because like the Kingpin's out as mayor? Why would that be the case?
Yes. So we don't know exactly when or where that's...
I assume
Takes
it's
place.
after this, but before Spider-Man.
So I wonder, like, is Sheila just supposed to be presented as like totally good? You think? Like, are we
Well,
gonna
she
ever see
serves
that?
the
Like,
office
I
she's, like,
served the
there.
office of
Yeah.
the.
like, are we just gonna assume that like she's just a completely good person next season or whatever?
She
I don't
just
think
turns
she was
her.
ever bad.
Yeah,
She just turns a blind
she,
eye.
yeah, she just
But,
turns
I
a
mean-
blind eye to everything.
That's kind of
Yeah.
as bad.
Mm-hmm.
But out of fear, though.
Kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, still,
She
like,
tried, right? And then what happened? They killed the cop, the
Mhm.
commissioner.
Yeah.
I
was a
still, I
good
mean, like,
friend
I
of hers.
still,
And Gandolfini.
like, she does not have a clean record. I'll put it that way, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like,
No, I have to agree. She's
By
not. She's.
association now, yeah.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Mhm.
But she never set anybody up.
I guess.
She never literally was part of a plan to
No.
hurt someone. She just either
Yeah. Like,
tried to turn her... You know,
But I mean, that's just like, there's no depth, I guess, is what my
yeah,
problem is.
no.
And also just like, I don't know, it's just like I keep thinking about how like that fucking final showdown, and it's just like, it's not Matt's decision. It's the fucking like 15 people who got
Yeah.
killed.
Mhm.
And just during that fight, like the other countless ones before that.
It's just silly, though, because it's like, why would Kingpin take the deal?
Kingpin, you're 100%
Yeah.
right. My comic book Kingpin
Yeah.
would never say, all right, I'll do it your way.
Yeah.
For anything. He'd rather get killed.
I don't understand what leverage Matt had over him at this point.
No. None.
Because in season 3, it's like you had the Vanessa stuff, and like they legitimately like they got him. They did everything that they had to do to just like actually get one over on him, and it legitimately took like a season and a half to do it, if not technically 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And like Vanessa's dead now, and he's just essentially a coach that's lost the locker room with New York, and he's just like, I tried.
It's
I-
crazy,
yeah.
like how far back, or just like how deep of a fucking hole this show has just like put Daredevil
Yeah.
property into. Like,
yeah.
it's just like, how do you even recover from this point to just like make?
Mhm.
Because like you just cut off like countless stories too,
Mhm.
and it's just like I don't know where it can go from here. Where it's just like to get back to a normal fucking place.
Yeah, and I don't believe the Kingpin did it for the people of the city. He set the city up the way he wanted the city for himself. I would have bought into that more. Hiding the fact that he's doing it for himself. I'm getting rid of the people I don't want in this city for me, not for you.
It's also
But
just
not that he's going to say it, but that's the Kingpin that I want to see.
yeah, but it's dumb as fuck that Matt would never even say like
We
or even
both-
assume that
yeah.
like
We both love the city.
Yeah.
It's just because
'cause,
I
like,
don't
he
believe
knows
that he
who this character is.
exactly. Yeah.
They have a storied history, and it's
Mhm.
like however many times Kingpin's revealed him like who he truly is
Yeah.
to this person.
And do you think Matt really loves the whole city or just loves his little piece of the city? 'Cause-
I don't care.
But I'm just saying, that's, to me, his neighborhood. That's what he loves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My whole
Hell's
thing-
Kitchen.
Yeah.
The 2 people Matt hated the most in the fucking world, he let walk,
Yeah. Yeah.
which makes the entire season
Mm-hmm.
bullshit to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
And he went to jail for it.
So he wound up going.
If
going
at
to
the
prison.
end you were putting Kingpin in jail and maybe being transported, he broke out and got away, I could believe that more than what they did.
Look, I never assumed Kingpin was the mob boss of
Mhm.
New York. I assumed Kingpin was the mob boss anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, Echo was
Yeah.
out in the fucking boondocks, right? And he was running drugs through the town or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's not just his business in New York. He got business.
He's
all
just
over the
connected.
place.
Exactly. He's connected to
You know,
everything.
and again, like I agree.
Fit
with
the name of Kingpin.
when Kingpin walks in a room,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody that's above him,
Yeah.
and nobody's going to tell him what to do, especially in front of other people. No one's going to put him down.
Yeah.
And like I said, this season they made him look like a wussy.
They did.
He just kind of got bitched out for like 2 seasons in a row, and then cried and got his ass kicked.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. The fact that this season like didn't build up and end with like the idea that they had all this surmounting evidence against him, just for it all to be thrown out by him outing Matt as Daredevil,
Yeah.
just like it blows my mind. Like it just feels like the through line was so obviously there. And if you're gonna be predictable, at least make it like good predictable. Because this is just like fucking nonsense. Like Matt martyring himself to like take on the jail sentence of Kingpin essentially. It's just like
So dumb.
yeah.
It is funny that like they did a twisted version of what I said with like the whole what are masks thing, but like they turned it on to fucking Heather for whatever reason. Like how you use a fucking mask but it's actually the government.
Yeah. Like the Kingpin
Yeah,
Association.
and also I forget what the other one was, but it's just like I hated the whole court theme.
Yeah. Yeah, because it didn't make sense.
No.
None of it made.
You know, even when he said I'm Daredevil, she didn't know he was Daredevil.
I think she did. They like constantly allude to the fact that she does.
But he never told her.
I think
you know?
it was actually alluded to in the scene with
Karen.
the ring or the
Oh,
earring,
Yeah.
because they were like I forget what they said, but
We
like
all have our secret.
yeah, and like the whole thing, yeah, I think she definitely knew, but I don't know
And then
how
like, even in her
necessarily.
book, it's like loyal boyfriend, boss, and whatever the
Yeah.
fuck. It's like, oh, these are all traits of Matt.
Yeah, I don't know. Do we want to go to ratings?
You know what happened in my apartment on the boat? I am the Daredevil.
We got anything?
I
else?
am the Daredevil. I am the Daredevil.
How you doing, Frank?
Do we have
need to
anything?
just
else?
like make that some kind of highlight thing.
Frank,
How you doing?
Do we have anything else?
No.
I'm done.
I get. Do you want to? Fucking stroke. Do we only want?
Maybe.
The like non-post credits, post credit scenes,
What do you mean?
like the Luke Cage return. and
Oh yeah,
we
Luke Cage
already
is
talked about
back,
He looks good.
He does look good.
Yeah.
and
Work
he's
was different there.
off the job now,
Yeah.
and
Eventually, we'll figure out where he was.
Yeah.
And what he was doing.
And
Maybe.
what the whole project is going third world.
Yeah.
If he was with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know. It's just there's nothing much to say about it, honestly.
Yeah.
I think it's cool that at least we found out that at least they did. They are together and they have a kid.
And I
I'm
like that
surprised
she
we
was
saw
in her.
him this season. By
She
the way.
was in her office.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that. The glass wasn't broken.
All right. Ratings. I
For
gotta
this
go.
episode of the season.
This
maybe
I guess,
both.
Yeah. This
Both.
episode like a 3. This season like a 3. Also.
Yeah, well, I give a 4 to a 5 on this last episode. Like I said, I was entertained by it because there was some glimmering hope of stuff and some comic-y book things going on in it, but the story's still flat, and that they're hanging on to that whole gun story when we thought that it was all done, and that's what they actually arrested him on, or got out of court with it or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The whole season's probably right at 3.
For the episode, I'm going to go with 3 just because, again, Daredevil just stood there while a bunch of people were getting murdered. For the season, 4. That's what you're going to get from me.
Yeah.
I got a 4 for this episode because it had maybe 1 or 2 highlights for me, but the entire season was a 2. It's such a disappointment, and I'm
It
not
is a
bitching
disappointment.
on anything. I don't want to hate this, but I was looking forward to this so much.
I was too. We all were. We all had
Yeah,
high,
I mean, as
because
a
of
group, we
season
were.
1 was
You
sort
know.
of one of those wait till next week, wait till next week, wait till next week, and it never came. And now, next season, new writers, and it never panned
Yeah.
out to anything.
And
you know,
I'm giving this season a 2, and I'm telling you right now, I'm not looking forward to season 3.
Season 3. Oh, I'm not excited.
Unfortunately, that might hurt you even more because I heard.
where do you go with, like Jack says, that they're all in a hole now with a lot of these storylines? Where do you go from here?
Yeah.
How do you come out with a story that actually makes sense?
One other thing I forgot to mention is that I saw a lot of people speculating that Luke Cage has been in and Bullseye will be going to Madripoor. which is like in the comics, like that's where Wolverine goes and is Patch. It's like that.
It's
city.
we see it in Falcon and the Winter Soldier also.
Yeah.
It's just like the criminal city,
Yeah.
and I don't know.
That's neither here nor there.
Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
I mean,
But yeah, it sucks for this specific episode because I thought the last 2 episodes were kind of shot well and like they'd make like good creative decisions with the cinematography. I think like the way that they present Kingpin and always kind of shoot him from lower angles and just make him look huge. I like.
yeah.
And it just I just thought it was shot well, but
And as cheesy as it was, that boo scene was actually pretty cool.
I guess.
Yeah.
I wondered why the governor doesn't travel with bodyguards.
Yeah.
Well, now she travels with Jessica Jones.
Jessica
'cause they're
Jones now, yeah.
best friends apparently. I don't know when they met, but yeah, I don't know. This season is such a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
Like a 2 or a 3 for the season. I don't even care to rate the episode. Doesn't
I'm
really
wondering
matter.
what people watching this think now. We got a lot of heat early on.
This is one of the highest rated episodes.
Well, I'm sure we're gonna get a lot of heat. But
I don't know. It's just like we titled the last episode "Daredevil Born Again" continues to bash my head in with a rock.
Yeah.
And it's like that's just like what this feels like. It's
Yeah.
just like I'm supposed to be fucking numb to all of this.
what's the title for this one? Daredevil finished me off.
Thank God it's over.
Whoa.
Yeah. It certainly wasn't a happy ending, I'll tell you that.
Oh boy.
Okay. Outro. We're just all so sad.
Yeah.
It's just
Next week
disappointing.
is Punisher, right?
Punisher,
Yes.
yes.
Same
All right.
bat station, same bat time.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was our review on the season finale of Daredevil Born Again. Next week we will be reviewing the Punisher. Just had a fucking stroke. The Punisher special presentation. The Punisher One Last Kill.
We'll see.
Maybe it'll be me killing myself.
How you doing, Frank?
How you doing, Frank?
I know.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.